Okay, I believe I'm live. Alrighty. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome here. So, today I will teach again on our situation at hand and help a bit. Everything is under the influence of God. You know, if we have the right expression here. Yeah. So that expression would be the soul. Yeah, everybody expressing the soul would be God's way of divine life. You know, it would create a spiritual planet. Yeah, the planet itself would have characteristics and qualities that would be far beyond the possibility of war, the possibility of destroying the planet, and all kinds of things that human beings do. You know, and they get past that. And they decide not to do that anymore. And it's because they have a great amount of virtue that has evolved from their soul. And they no longer waste their life and time and energy in things that are about materialism. Yeah. And if you study Buddhism, it's about materialism. It's about being non-materialistic. It's about being a minimalist. It's about taking things easy, you know, let go, let God kind of thing. So it's kind of good philosophy. But then the outcome of it is that the reality that sits right in front of us, the very experience that we have, is governed by the agents of God, depending on the expression of the soul. If there's a good amount of soul, then there's a good amount of the expression of God. If there's not, then we're not governed by that. Yeah, we have to realize that the glamours and all the other things that are the symptoms of there not being really that much soul, you know, and that because of that, our weaknesses in that area would allow the governing to be a relationship of suspicious, conniving, you know, vandalizing, ripping off people who take advantage of other people. And that's a great position, yeah, where you have power. In the glamour area, in the influence of people's personality, there's an automatic tendency to let power take over, and you start turning out to be a different person. And the influences behind it are governed. Yeah, so it's still a governing body. Yeah, and it's governed by a body of a mass of other people, just like yourself, that are going through this very similar process and falling into that reality of selfishness and materialism and greed and gain. Yeah, just because they can. Yeah, they have no rules or anything, and if there are rules, then they break them. You know, just because they can. If they're white and rich and in America, you got a good chance you're never going to go to jail, you know, no matter how much money you steal, you know. So it's easy to do what one does. Yeah. So, and that's the same in any power. If you go to Africa, you'll see very, very rich kings or lords or people in charge, and they're usurping the people. They're taking advantage of the situation, and that is glamours. That's governing also. It governs the outcome of our poverty, the outcome of our life, the outcome of why it is we suffer so much. Period. It's the reason why we suffer. Yeah, you know. So suffering, as time goes on, will slowly but surely get less. Yeah, it's not just going to go away. Yeah, it'll be a process of enlightenment, recognition, discernment, discrimination, and higher choices that governs ability inside of people that allows them to self-govern rather than be controlled by and deluded by the laws or some ridiculous applied reality of notion, you know, that you know, your rights are gone. And you have to prove your rights. They'll tell you that, you know, if you supposedly broke the law, you know, that you're totally innocent until proven guilty. That's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. You must prove yourself innocent. And you are guilty until you prove yourself innocent. And that's the truth, no matter who you are. But if you're white, that's very different. The law becomes different. And that's terrible. That's terrible. And if you're poor, the law becomes different. You make that law what you want to make of it. You have a very big area to work in and to subject people to your bias and your hate and your willingness to, not excuse people for breaking your personal law. That's why you're a cop. That's why you're a governor. That's why you take that position, because you want to take it personally and you want to make it a better thing. But sometimes the process is that you take it personal, and that keeps us away from being a spiritual planet. We can't imagine that why isn't Christ walking amongst us? And yet Christ walks amongst us. And yet there's nothing inside of our governing body that governs us as individuals that makes us aware of that, even though I can do all kinds of things and make it completely available for a long time. But the process of governing has to do with psychic energy. And you have no idea that psychic energy makes you very small. And you become not interested in things outside your selfishness. So you really can't help anybody. And that's not a very spiritual reality. Because we're not here to help just people that we know. People that way we can keep it really small. And we're controlling the situation in our personality. And we have no idea that this is what's going on. We just do it. But if our process of governing was, in a way of yoga, and in a way of awakening enlightenment in people, then we would have a very different way of looking at our children. We'd have a very different way of looking at old people, and their process of dying. We'd have a very different way of looking at little babies when they reincarnate, because now we're saying reincarnation, But you can't just say these words. You can't read in a book and believe these things. It has to come to enlightenment. You have to be in a state of consciousness. And then it happens. And until then, we all reincarnate. But we are not treated as such. We're treated as though we're a burden or a special gift. A piece of ownership, another piece of materialism. And it has nothing to do with the soul incarnating. And in order for us to be a spiritual governed reality, we really have to see the elderly as souls in process of disincarnating and transcendence, and their process of reincarnation, and the process of the soul, and how it comes back into a body, and we have to have these thoughts in our mind, so that we can carry on love, because if we stay at this place where we're constantly veiled, and we don't have this real picture of life, that is the truth. If we don't see this truth, then we won't be open to the enlightenment that will come into us as a soul. You need to have a picture of the truth. Because if you're governed by, a space of 300 feet, because you have territorial imperative, or you could be like the president. You can't even hardly shake hands. You don't like to touch your own face. You don't like touching doorknobs. You don't like people touching you. That's how selfish people can get. And they get these paranoidal tendencies. Because there's so little like an ant walking around. You'd be scared, very scared, when you're a little ant. And that's what happens when you have a big ego. You become a little ant. And you're afraid. And you control more. Yeah. But it doesn't work out because you're a little ant. And no one's supporting you because no one feeds little ants. Yeah. They're parasites. Yeah. They're just ants. Yeah. And there's a level of our being that we can go to that goes all the way down the kingdoms. Yeah. And we can live on that level. We can express on that level. We can be on that level. If we are so selfish, we become those kind of things, those levels of your territorial imperative. You can't go outside of it. Yeah, you become very biased, very prejudiced. You see something of a different color, a different kind. You can't control your emotions. Yeah, because it's territorial imperative. They're not like you. Now you're scared. Yeah, and you got to completely grow up out of that. Yeah, we can't be in a physical body, be human beings in a physical body and have those experiences. Yeah, we had to break the bubble of the territorial imperative, and that happens in meditation. Yeah, if you're given meditation through a master, and you go into a transcendental state of consciousness, then all your barriers break away. They completely break away, and you have all your fears as to why you don't want them to break away also goes away. Yeah, and you can't control any of it. Yeah, because you're being overwhelmed by the massive consciousness of the master that has no territorial imperative. Yeah, has consciousness of a whole planet and outside the planet and the soul and the monad and all the four. It really requires so much expansiveness to be spiritual. And that's why it's universal, and that's why it's cosmic, and that's why, even though, it is all the way out there and it has to come all the way back to be present in the moment. Yeah? It's better than being a little ant. They can't go out at all, and all our senses are totally down to the lowest level. No instincts, no intuition, no psychic development. You lose all those. It's like walking around without a nose, blind, and no ears. And all you got is your paws, and the feel, and the scared. Your senses shut down. Yeah. And we're extrasensory. That's our ability in a higher state of consciousness. Our senses become our consciousness, not our intellect, not our materialism. Yeah. It's our ability to be compassionate and empathetic. And that lets us let go of the things we don't need. Yeah. And keep moving forward. Yeah. Keep diving in and finding more and more adventure. Yeah. And establishing more and more growth toward a spiritual field. Yeah. And you get moved in your mind to go that way, but it takes meditation. It takes an element of meditation to move the mind to spiritual governing, a higher spiritual body of governing. Yeah, so it's difficult. Yeah, but we have an earth that is set and designed this way. Yeah, it's all set like this. Yeah, and all of that is here all the time. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to buy a machine or join a club or anything like that. We are in this. But our thing is that we have to begin developing our temple. Yeah, because where we come from, we are earthlings. We come from this earth, and this earth is sacred. Yeah, it's just that the human beings are not. And if the human beings aren't sacred, then they defile the earth. They defile temples. Look around. How many temples you see anywhere without them being incredibly old, torn down, and used to build cities and streets and things. Yeah? And the confused mind is so unspiritual, it just goes, oh, what is Stonehenge? That pyramid? You know? Lucky to speak. Lucky to even understand, oh, that's a pyramid. Yeah? Lucky. It's ridiculous. Yeah? Our consciousness is being absorbed. Somebody built that thing. And we're losing so much in consciousness that we go, what the been UFOs? Yup. Can't think of anybody else. Yeah. Oh, Jesus? He's dead and gone. Yeah. Buddha never comes back. Yeah. Krishna? Probably a myth. Yeah. So we can't bring them up into any of this, because there has been a history of defiling this earth for a long time. Yeah, Catholic Church, yeah, Knights of Templars, Hitler, Mussolini. Did you know that Mussolini is the one who created the Catholic Church legal statute of being its own island and government? Mussolini made that a law in Italy. Our president. Yeah. And just by coincidence, that same church wrote a book stating that he is the chosen one. Yeah. Kind of, play it forward or something. Yeah. Yeah. So we're governed by these lunar lords that know about reincarnation. They're mystics. They're cultists. Yeah? Yeah? Hitler was a cultist. He knew all about reincarnation. His whole buildings and all his generals sat around claiming their past lives, and pledging to the evil from those past lives as being incredibly evil people, that's channeling through them. Yeah? And we have no idea that we're up against this shit. People are just running around, going, well, maybe I should go to my astrologer and try and get my act together. Maybe go to my palm reader, see if my husband's cheating on me. Go to a witch and see if I need to put a warlock spell on somebody so I can get married. That's us. That's the caste of humanity. On almost every street corner is a palm reader, and every newspaper is astrology, and every one of your friends is a past life witch or a warlock. And they're just getting out of the old trade. Yeah. It's difficult when we have a past where we've been recruited into horrible processes of accepting sacrifice of human beings. Horrible. When we had to accept working with Hitler. Yeah? Killing people day in, day out. Starving people day in, day out. Ruthlessly. Learning how to become ruthless. Yeah? And that goes all the way to the Aztecs, to the Mayans. Yeah. All throughout history. Yeah. And way before that were there good people that built the temples. Yeah. That the Aztecs and the Mayans walked into and said, whoa, this is cool, this is powerful. They didn't build it. It was there before them. Read their history. It says that in their history. Yeah. This was here when we got here. Yeah. So we got hundreds of thousands of years, tens of thousands of lives in cycles of humanity that we can pick up on and we can overcome. the many cycles where we were forced by Hitlers and Mussolini's and people like Trump to not wear masks and kill little children and watch 200,000 people die. And more, every day, over 1,000 people are dying, like it's 9/11 every day. Yeah? People are just like, as long as it's not me. You know? Yeah, 'cause we're governed by the same guy who says, you know, I don't believe in masks. I don't like to touch my face. That's what he said. I've got it on video. People don't like to wear a mask because they don't like touching it. You know, they don't like touching other things. And that's him he's talking about. And his selfishness, his ant-like myopic reality is affecting humanity. The United States are further people who are myopic, ant-like people who, like ants, follow. Yeah? And they can't help it because their instincts are knee-jerk, total solar plex, fanatical, unspiritual, dogmatic. Yeah. And it's what happens when we have a past like that. Yeah. So cleansing that is the only thing that will give us our past lives. We have our past lives. Someone built all these temples. Look into it. Look how many temples all around the world, pyramids in Russia, in China, on every continent and under the ocean, pyramids 10 times bigger than the Great Pyramid, pyramids that were thought to be mountains. Yeah? And they're pyramids. Yeah? All over the planet. Yeah? So you don't do that because you're selfish. Yeah? You do that because you are attuned to God, and God is telling you that this is a sacred planet, and this is what the planet looks like. And their senses are seeing it. And they can't help but know the clock of time and the distance between every continent and the mapping and the time zones and all of that we traveled by is based on the psychic development of seeing the pyramid through the third eye and being moved by that energy. Yeah? You know, so that's our planet. It's moving us. It's guidance. Yeah? It is almost impossible to go wrong. I mean, this is the whole temple. We're just the little people. Either we are the ones who are the children of God, the kingdom of the soul, yeah? Or we're moved to do inhumane things without knowing we're doing those inhumane things. And small numbers of people who control us by their enormous power from previous lives, Mussolini, Hitler, you know, our little buddy Sai Baba, Genghis Khan, yeah, they all reincarnate. It's the history of our planet. But we also have Rama, yeah, we have Vishnu, we have Shiva. We have another history of our planet that built those temples. They're the only ones, if you study, it is only Rama who built those temples. It was only Krishna who built those temples. In every incarnation of the avatar, the temples are built. And the world gets saved. The world goes into a golden period. Yeah? Goes into what's known as the Sakya Yuga. Yeah? A whole other period of time where we reap the influence of temple building and meditation and yoga and spiritual development spontaneously and naturally, because the avatar takes incarnation and enough people are telepathically able to communicate with that avatar, and the governing body of the avatar begins happening. And it really requires a lot of people collectively knowing and working and learning to build those pyramids. Yeah, it takes hundreds of thousands of people to pray to make a mountain into a pyramid. Yeah, a whole mountain. Doesn't take shovels. It takes prayer. You can move mountains. Yeah, you can make large blocks, tens of hundreds of tons, float in the air. You can make them form through your mind and through sound. Yeah, through thought form building. That's what you do. Yeah, by masses. Just look at your history. It's out there. There isn't one person on the planet that didn't have the ability to do that. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, did you hear that a little kid down the road, was able to levitate a stick? Not at all. And this takes a long time. Yeah, because we have to mature. Yeah, we have to become one. Yeah, we can't let our races get between us. We can't let our gender get between us. Yeah, we can't let our countries get between us. We can't let people get between us. Yeah, we have to become a unified field. Yeah, and from that we create a very strong telepathic field called the soul. Yeah, so it requires meditation. It requires raising up certain psychic abilities. Yeah, so until then, we have people who reincarnate whose only desire in life is to kill people in mass numbers. We try our best to catch people who go around and kill 100 people. It drives you crazy when you can't catch that mass murderer. It goes into town and kills and rapes. And it happens all the time. Yeah. And then there's people like Mussolini and people like Hitler, who's by general nature has killed an average of 500,000 people to 1 million people in their lifetime. So when they reincarnate, that has to come back with them. You understand? That's just how it works. Yeah. Unless somehow we can reduce that reality. Fight against it. Yeah. Right now, we're not exactly in a nuclear war, but we are in a process of dying 1,000 a day. Yeah. And larger numbers. Yeah. And getting people to die no matter which way you do it, is a part of Satan's plan. Yeah. God's plan is that everybody becomes more enlightened, use science, use their own will, controls their lower nature, works together as an empathetic group, yeah, with empathy and understanding, yeah, and precognition, dreams that allows us to realize, oh, I could have done that, but because of the dream, I choose not to. Because in the dream, many people were harmed. Yeah, so I have a second chance. Yeah, that will happen in the future when we're more spiritual and we have these abilities. But right now, we have to use choice. And we have the influence, just like having Hitler around, except that we're not in the same process. We're just governed. Yeah, and we're in the final phases of having these people on Earth. There is a special place being prepared by God for these people. A very special place. And it does not include incarnating on Earth. Yeah? In Buddhism, we call it samsara, or the bardo. Yeah? And the bardo is a place in which you live out time. And it's not on a material plane. It's on an astral plane. The astral plane gets smaller. And it's controlled by Buddha. And he also creates samsara, which allows people who do take incarnation the ability to have self-realization of their wrong activities in life. Going to a bar, raping a person, anything unjust toward another person, including harming yourself, is samsara. It's not real. Yeah? It's not real at all. It's part of hell. Yeah? Just the fact that you have the choice and the opportunity should tell you that you're in hell. Yeah? And there's a way out of it. Because heaven and hell are right at the same doorway. Yeah? You either go through one door or the other. And if you go through the door of heaven, you have to be pretty cleansed. Yeah? You can't be drinking a lot. You can't be doing anger processes and emotional, responsible processes, like our president. And getting a whole bunch of other people to do the same thing. Yeah? So when he does that, he increases this anxiety level on a psychic level that disrupts people's ability to discern and discriminate. Yeah, to make any good decisions. Even today, people wonder whether or not he would win as a president. Yeah, because it's so strange. He even became president. Yeah, so something's up. And come to find out, and we never get to find out, that Russia was the one who elected President Trump. Russia elected him. And we have no way of figuring out exactly how that happened. Yeah. Yeah. And they're really working on overtime right now to do the same thing. And their focus is not just elect Trump, but do the same thing they did in the other one, which is destroy Clinton. How many emails? Where did they go? Russia? You have the emails? Yeah, that's what he said. So he knew that there was a process going on, and he was being elevated by Putin. And everything Putin had to make him president was on board. And everything that Putin had to destroy Hillary Clinton was on board. That's a lot of energy. Yeah, that's a whole other freaking country. One of the largest countries in the world. And they're the most psychic people in the world if they have an effect on something. They like you, it might be helpful. If they dislike you, it could be harmful. Yeah. For a long time, it's the only country we ever thought that was going to destroy the earth. Wipe it out. Cold-heartedly. The only ones we knew in existence were Russians, who had the enormous capitalistic, communistic, process of being taken over by the dark evil force. Yeah. It was like Darth Vader kind of scenario. And that same psychic energy, that influence, is what we have to walk up against, in order to make this change. Yeah. It's psychic. It's a process of your own influence. Yeah. So meditating and using the tools is beyond. I do not recommend focusing on a specific religion or this or that. To get through this, is listening to my puja, using an etheric weaver, getting a vajra, working with pyramids like this, geometric forms, all the things that I put out are things that influence your past lives that existed by every single living human being on earth was aware of and working with in a conscious way for thousands of years, working with the Lord of the planet, doing good, building temples, worshiping God, freeing people from corruption and manipulation and greed. So that's in all of us, in every single one of us. So it's a matter of really recapitulating that. And it's going to happen. Because it's inside of God. God controls time. This little element right here, the fact that we are a temple, is also control of light, the speed of light. The geometric configuration of this pattern that you're seeing is also the mathematical equation of light, the speed of light. It also is the mathematical equation of the distance of the moon to the earth and the radius of the earth. All this equates together creates the phenomenon of the pyramid, a 51-degree pyramid. Yeah? So that 51-degree pyramid equates to the fact that this earth is a generator of light. We create light. Yeah? So if you think of all these temples, and if you've ever done any study behind this, and you will in the future, that temples create light. And at the very top of a pyramid is a beam of light coming out. Yeah? And it's enormous. It's beyond your wildest imagination how much energy pours out the top of a pyramid. Yeah? And this is seen when people go to the pyramid, they go there and they check it, they check the radiation, the electromagnetic field, all these different things, and even psychic experiences. And they're overwhelming. No matter where you go, to different places where they have a pyramid that's set in the same geometric pattern, they go to the top of the pyramid and they find a great deal of change of that electromagnetic field. Yeah? Yeah. You know, so that influence is kind of asleep right now. But it's there. And as we wake up, it harnesses the energy we put into matter because we are losing our materialistic imperil pushed into matter by our day-to-day, anxiety and processes and things that go on, because we really don't have any. When we go to school, we have no definition that we're walking into a monastery or spirituality or anything like that. We have to wait till Sunday. We can't talk about God in school. It's against the law. I mean, where are things going? Yeah. But you can put, a statue of Satan, because of religious processes. Yeah. Because no one knows God. You can make up any religion you want. Yeah. When you're in a process that we're in, we have we create half truths. Yeah. We create multiple religions and multiple belief systems, and everything is half-truths or less. Yeah. But because they're even a part of a truth, people take it as truth. Just like every time Trump lies, people actually take it as truth. They don't check it out. They don't fact-check it. They take it as truth. So it really does increase his look by lying. Yeah. Because he says, I'm the greatest president in the world, and there's never been that many people ever come to an inauguration as there were at mine, And it's not true. They all fact check it. And then when they fact check it, all the people who are going, well, they don't fact check it, they just believe what he says, Oh, yeah, greatest than ever, and kind of find out it's not true. But all of that leads them then to say, why are they checking him out? It's a conspiracy. They're against him. They're not against him. It's because he lied. Really big. A lot. Yeah? So his lying creates two things. It creates a truth, which everybody thinks is a truth, and it's a half-truth. And then it creates a conspiracy behind the people who are reacting to a lie. Yeah? And he goes, that's called fake news. Yeah. Yeah. So it's something you might think, are they actually planning this? Are they doing this on purpose? Yeah. Are they planning and killing people on purpose? Are they doing that? Is that possible? Could he and Kirshner actually worked out a plan to kill a lot of people? Yeah. And get other people to agree with it? And then hide it. Yeah. Yeah, they did. They did. Let me show you.
So this plan was hammered out in secret with a sort of brain trust of Jared Kushner's, which included his college roommate, but also experts from the diagnostic testing industry. They worked night and day in secret using the WhatsApp encrypted platform, and they did develop a cogent national plan And it's a plan that every other industrialized nation that has gotten, flattened their curve has used, where you nationalize the response to testing, you surge supplies nationally, you divvy up laboratory capacity nationally. Then, as one participant told me, the plan just went poof into thin air. So behind the scenes, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, so I wanted to ask you about that, because what did happen behind the scenes? I mean, I know, you talked to several people who were, involved with this, who knew about it. You talk about one who was in frequent contact with the official coronavirus task force, and they told you that someone on Kushner's team said, oh, well, we don't need a national plan because at that time, right, it's blue states being hit the hardest. Democrat states. And you quote the expert as saying the political folks believe that because it was going to be relocated to Democratic states, that they could blame those governors and that would be an effective political strategy. Look, it's a stunning thing, Catherine. I mean, this is basically saying they did not care if people died in Democrat states, that somebody really did not care. I mean, it's a stunning thing. Tell me what you know.
Yeah. So, the plan, which was going to be announced, hit changing sentiment at the White House. There was a shared feeling, which turned out to be spectacularly wrong, that the virus was receding, it was going to be under control, and at the time, it was just the blue states where the virus was surging. So the idea was, why go through all the effort to surge up a national plan? It wasn't going to have political resonance, was a phrase that I was given, and that if there was a political response that was needed, the blue state governors could just be blamed, and that the national plan wasn't needed. And of course, in retrospect, we look at what's happened this summer. It's surging in numerous states across the country. A national plan is very much needed.
And the White House.
There, I'm back. All right. So, national plan is needed. Yeah, right. So we have a president that he did that. Yeah, he and his son-in-law. Yeah, they knowingly got together with scientists who knew what to do. They established a way to work as a whole governing body, to work every state, to collectively share and work and distribute, and have everybody get tested, everybody get their suits and their masks and all of their protective gear, yeah, and consistently, no one running out, yeah, consistently, and to actually push forward for people to wear masks and stay home when they don't have to go out, yeah, everybody do that, yeah. Lockdown, all kinds of things, yeah, in order to really shut this down. Yeah, that was their plan. Yeah, and they decided, well, look at this. What do you know? It's kind of getting better, and it's only the blue states who are having high increase in testing and hospitalization and deaths. We can use that. Yeah, we can blame it on Biden. If you elect Biden, then there'll be more blue states and you'll have more potentiality of this happening. Where in all my states, everybody's fine. Yeah? And that's just, come on. Yeah? But that allows, if this was done correctly, it could have slowed things down to where rather than 1,000 a day, we'd be doing like 100 a day. Yeah? And over a long period of time, instead of 200,000, we'd be only at about 45,000. That's a big difference in human beings. Yeah. And yet he goes, well, let's push the meat packing and let's get people back to school and let's get some football games started and get those restaurants opened up. Yeah. Let's do the right thing. Let's get the economy going. Yeah. What matters more than human life is economy. Yeah. Because in the end, it's the economy that will survive, and the people who died have died. No consideration whatsoever. None. This is your governing body. Yeah, you're in deep shit. Yeah. Yeah. So it's beyond necessary to get rid of this guy. Yeah, because he's doing also other things. And I'm saying this because I want people to have a bit of an understanding. He did he had a conversation with the guy that Woodberg, I guess his name is, one of the guys that busted, Turkey Dick, which is funny because the son-in-law, again, is the one who set this meeting up. And it's like he's got an enemy in the house, and it's his son-in-law, yeah? And his son-in-law is so self-centered, he's out to even destroy the guy next to him who he says he's trying to help. Because he can't do anything but destroy, yeah? He's just evil, yeah? He owns 666 and everything. He's just amazing, yeah? So he sets up 18 interviews with a man who destroyed Turkey Dick. Yeah, the one guy that, his team destroyed the guy, 18 interviews and allow him to write a book just prior to his election. I mean, what? And that is the karma of the United States. We have good people in the United States, and they keep coming back around, and they're scrubbing. They're scrubbing. Yeah? They're in there, and they're second ray, and they're leading teachers who are actually in the news or investigators, and they're second ray, just like Woodward and everybody else, and they're willing to go through whatever shit, they have to go through in order to get to the truth, because this is beyond corruption. Yeah, this is really bad. Yeah, and many, many people are suffering because of it. Yeah, so this process is our karma. It's our good karma, of having many, many people right now. So many people are writing books. So many people are standing next to this president, just going, oh, God, that's going to look good in the page, in chapter 8, this, I can't believe this. The man's going to make me a billionaire. I'll walk out of this office a billionaire. And they're all just going, thank you, God for making me a vessel, in order to help this man go down, because that's all they're thinking. They're not thinking they're doing any harm to this guy. Yeah, they're whistleblowers that want to reveal the fact that this man has got the education of a fifth grader. Yeah, he has the education of a fifth grader. He is not competent enough to go beyond fifth grade. He couldn't pass tests. He couldn't think something out, in an organized way that you would get if you had maturity in life up to a fifth grader. But he's almost retarded because of his age senility. He's going through dysfunctional processes with his ability to communicate, his ability to think, his ability to do the things he could have done much better if he was 35 or 40 years old. Right now, we're getting the worst of Trump. He is frazzled. Yeah, and every single vice he can't chain down. He can't control it, and he's always had a problem not controlling himself because he's so much a billionaire. You never have to control your words ever. You just sue people. Yeah, and then you make money from that. You never lose money. And he knows that. That's how evil the man is. Yeah, so he's doing the same thing with the United States. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Check out what he said to this guy.
The Trump administration, and said if you want to understand it, you can understand it through these four articles or books, and it's just bizarre, and really speaks to the malignancy of this administration, and also just how vapid they all are. Jared pointed out Peggy Noonan. And Peggy's column that crazy doesn't last It all feels so dangerous. That's how Peggy finished that column. And then he said, you look at the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. And is you right? Of course, how bizarre that he would point to a manipulative, directionless, again, vapid character in this bizarre book. And then Chris Whipple's book on chief of staffs and presidents, where Whipple concluded that Trump, quote, clearly had no idea how to govern. And then I thought the most damning, Dilbert's creator wrote a book called Win Bigly. And in it, he explains how Trump.
The virus, we had the best cushion.
Administration lies. The president said that lying was a heresy, and he creates a media invent any reality. Dilbert's creator, chief of staffs and presidents, where Whipple concluded that Trump, quote, clearly had no idea how to govern. And then I thought the most damning, Dilbert's creator wrote a book called Win Bigly. And in it, he explains how Trump lies intentionally and can, quote, invent any reality. And then Kushner said to you that when he lies, he creates a controversy and he creates a media reaction where they're trying to fact check. Like, for instance, when he lied in the State of the Union address and lied about having the best economy ever. Jared Kushner said that lying was a winning strategy because lying creates controversy. And when Donald Trump lies and when he lies and when the administration lies, the press reacts to all of their lies, and that only amplifies the story, which I've got to say
Yes, I mean,
is extraordinarily damning on all fronts.
Well, I mean, the phrase that Kushner uses is controversy elevates message. And one example is Trump goes out and says, as he repeatedly says before the virus, we had the best economy in the history of the world, in the history of the country. And Kushner says, now, literally, that's not true. And the fact checkers go and say, oh, wait a minute, in the 1950s it was better and so forth. And Kushner does the analysis. And Joe, you're exactly right. It's stunning. The controversy over it elevates the Trump message about, oh, the economy is good. And the average person out there hears Trump say it's the best economy in the entire world ever. And they say, well, gee, the economy's pretty good. And then they see the fact checkers come along, the nitpickers, and say, oh, yeah, well, Eisenhower's period was better. And, you know, they even go back way hundreds of years in history. And the average person says, now, wait a minute. Why are they going after the president on this? And so this is a calculation. This is not just accident. This is intentional. And so Kushner's analysis, oh, so we've controversy? Fine. It elevates the message, a basic one, that the economy is good. And average person isn't going to go through the economic history of the world and say, is that in fact true? It's in fact not true. But it's true enough. See, that's the whole strategy here. True enough.
Well, and they keep repeating it, Mika. So members of the media, and it's one of the things that we.
All right, here we are, yeah. So anyway, the process is that, they're pushing in order to get people to believe that what he says is enough in order to create a sense of propaganda. Yeah, and the people that are influenced by it are the people who are voting for him, and there are also people that are under the influence of the words that he's saying. Those words are affecting people dramatically. Yeah, every time he speaks. Yeah, and I mean, just to say the stupidest thing, it creates another conflicting reality. And but it creates a conspiracy. Of people going, well, why do you think he said that and this and that? And then people who believe in him go, well, why are they questioning him? There must be a conspiracy. So it justifies more and more and more the deluded side of things, where he can make up whatever he wants because the people he's talking to are in a made-up world. It's not real. It's just, they're trying to keep it together. They're deciding whether or not, are there still going to be football games? Are we still going to be able to drink? Because that's all he cares about, that these people can continue their low lifestyle. Because he cannot be a billionaire unless he can get you to buy his property and get you to sell your land so he could drill oil and he can create profit out of your, enslaved lifestyle that he's going to make a profit from. And it's those people who believe that he's going to bring them, a better life. And he's only saying he will because that's where he would make his profit. That's where he would make his difference. So he's also influencing the process where we have the coronavirus and we have a situation to where they've decided, well, this is good, blue states. Now we're going to create something called blue states, just like we're, the North and the South. Because in the beginning of this thing, it says, oh, it's all about the North and the South. So they started tearing down all the bad statues, and he gets all upset, So that elevates everybody to think, well, we're in a freaking civil war, and we are, And the process, he then goes, wow, blue states, red states. Oh, wow, we really are in the Civil War. We've separated the states, just like we did in the Civil War. The Republicans or Democrats, whatever way you want to call it. He did that. And he got people to join it. Got people to join, the Civil War. And then he goes, oh, those places always on fire because they're a part of the blue states. So we got to continue with, there really was no reason for the Civil War. And the Civil War was to stop slavery and little things like that, create humanity and voting for everyone. So everybody, man, woman, of every color, had the right as an American to vote. That was the real reason for the Civil War. It wasn't just about black people having freedom. It was about the right to vote and to create the government of the United States by the people, for the people, and not by slave owners and rich people and people who govern and are paid by rich people to govern in certain ways. That would have been done by these other guys who were the slave owners. That would have been that government. So we fought this all along, and now it's come back around. This is the same thing moving around, and it's supporting that energy, and it's rebellion. So all these people act in rebellion. They bring their guns where? They bring them to the government. They go to the mayor's place. They stand there in front of the state capitol. They stand in front of the police office. They burn down police offices. They take over the capitol, And he comes out in riot gear with people all in front of him, pushing people like there's a riot in D.C. in front of the White House. And there wasn't. There were just people, But he creates a riot, and forcibly moves so it looks like there's a civil war at the White House. And he's standing there with the Bible, as though, He's ordained by God. Remember this. And this is a civil war, and you're just not aware of it. And he's going to make you aware of it. And they're called the Democrats. Democracy. We're against it. Yeah? So every action, we're going to take the military, we're going to go against the people. We're going to come in black cars, we're going to take people off the street, throw them in the cars, and we're not going to say a thing. Yeah? We're going to do this because we are the Republicans. Yeah? And we focus upon our independent little countries, our independent little states. We become rich states, we have greedy little ideas, and because that's the way that belief system holds. Rather than the possibility of there being free medicine in the United States and the possibility of there being a welfare of all the people in the United States, or the possibility of there being housing for people who are very poor in the United States, and the possibility of taxing the rich throughout the United States, not going to happen by this one group, but it could happen by this other group. Yeah. And that's what it's against, And these people are willing to kill all of you, who are against them. And they see the blue states are the ones who are dying first. Yeah. So they don't do anything to help. Yeah. But what about if a doctor comes out, the head of the medicine, and says, you know what? The vaccine is okay, but it ain't going to cure you. But what will cure you is a mask. A mask. If you wear a mask, you will not get the virus. Yeah. If you take a vaccine, you have a 70% chance you won't get the virus. 70%. But that's it. Yeah. Whoa. Lost picture. La-dee-da. There I am. I'm back. Okay. Yeah. So that process is a very big process. And this doctor says this. He says, that it's more important to wear the mask. Taking a vaccine is not going to help us as much as wearing the mask. And the chances that we're going to get the vaccine is not going to be until July. Yeah. And not this coming November when the president says he's going to magically manifest the virus for everybody. Where in reality he's going to manifest the vaccine. He's going to manifest the vaccine for the military. And they're going to be the first ones who get it. 1.5 million. Yeah. And out of that, it'll be hospitals and other very specific groups. But 60% of all of that 1.5 million goes to the military. That's the first allotted amount. And we're 350 million people. Yeah. And it's not like 150 million is going out right away. Yeah. And then another 150 million comes out within the next 2 or 3 months. Yeah. It's not as much as people think. And it won't be until July, until it's a vast number, And then it's a matter of whether or not, do you have insurance and is this free? And how many times do you have to take it? What if you get the virus again and you've taken it? Can you take the vaccine again like the flu every year? Yeah. Yeah. The process of the vaccine, people are going to question whether or not they take it. We have a really big thing in the United States where a lot of people have chosen not to take vaccines because it's put people in wheelchairs. It's given people early dementia. It's given all kinds of different things, neurotic things that happens inside the system of a person that changes them dramatically. Yeah. And we don't know whether or not this is the case because it's individual. It doesn't happen to everybody. It only happens to a few people, but it's a percentage. That happens. Oh, here we go again. And I'm still here. You can hear me talk. That's kind of cool. Oh, there I am. All right. Yeah, so the process is that our president is working overtime, there we go again, in order to create a process to where people do not wear the mask. Every event he's at, he won't wear a mask. Every time he has an opportunity, he will humiliate people from wearing masks. If you go to any of his events, you are suggested and asked not to wear a mask. Every single person is not to wear a mask. This becomes an enormous, enormous migration of the virus. Mass migration of the virus. And it immediately goes out to family members all over the United States because people travel far and wide to get to one of his things. They don't just come local. Yeah, they're fanatics. They're like going to a Grateful Dead concert, and that's the way he sees it. Yeah, he really thinks he's a rock star, and that's why people need to get to him, because he's a rock star and no one really recognizes it. Yeah, he's no rock star. He's a rock. So here's his process. Here's the doctor and what he had to say. Looks like nothing's working. Media. Just black. Nope. Okay, I'll just keep talking. So anyway, the head of the medical reality behind the CDC, he pointed out that the vaccine is not going to be around until July, and it'll come out, and it'll be around December, January, and it'll not come out in large amounts. And that's his truth. He's the guy who knows. Yeah. And then he was also asked, what about masks? Is there any other way we can protect ourselves? And he says, as far as he's concerned, the number one way to protect yourself, and you have a 99% chance of not getting the virus, if you wear a mask and don't go outside. You know, don't stand around with people. Yeah. You know, so this is valuable information. Yeah. It's a real truth. Yeah. But then within minutes, we get the tweeting kicker of the planet, you know, that starts tweeting out, and he has to have a conference, a news conference. You know, I hope everybody, no, I guess they can hear me. Yeah. Yeah. They can hear me. Yeah. So he had to have a news conference, which was to immediately say that the man of the CDC, when he was asked the question, he was not clear of mind. He misunderstood what the question was. Now, if you watch the video, this is a doctor, the head of the CDC, one of the most brilliant orators on the planet. He's clear-minded, and he's going to speak, and he's going to know what he's going to say. Every word, he knows what he's saying. There's no accident. You know, oh, I'm not sure what I said. You know, because that's what Trump said. Trump said, and he didn't want to specifically lie, because then he would, you know, the CDC guy would say, well, I never said that. So he just continued to insinuate, I think he, you know, didn't understand the question. And I think he, you know, gave the wrong answer. And then when I asked him about the mask, he said again, well, you know, I think I gave him the wrong answer, you know. And yet if you watch the video, there's no way he could have given the wrong answer. He was so clear and so desperate to get that point out, you know, of clarity, that this is the number one thing that will help humanity, you know. So there's nothing, but the thing is chaos. If you could push that fourth ray up to the brow, and you can get people to listen to the devil, because the devil is your Lord. The devil is your Lord. And the devil is in charge of air, yeah, and water, and matter, yeah, all the elements on this planet, all of them, yeah. And anything you touch and anything you become involved with, it's really hard for you to disconnect from the power behind the devil. It's in peril. It's avarice. Yeah? It insinuates delusions and illusions that just simply don't exist. And it wastes your time and energy beyond your wildest imagination. Yeah. So it just puts us in inertia. And we get so much in a lower state that we don't seek. We don't have the power to attract the truth to us. Yeah. We have the power to repel the truth. Yeah. To devalue anything that would be the truth. And use the emotions or the sixth ray or other things, in order to establish that. So these people go into stores and they ask them, please wear a mask, and they'll cut a hole in the front, just to be an asshole, or they'll take their mask off and lay on the floor and stamp their feet. I won't leave. You can't make me wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask. I can't wear a mask. I can't breathe behind a mask. Yeah. And they violently get really freaked out. All they got to do is call for an Uber meal and have Safeway deliver their groceries. There's all kinds of things we could do in America to get beyond having to wear a mask in the public when you don't want to wear a mask in the public. But these people just want to be an asshole and stand openly in front of other people and show that there is no such thing as this virus. It's a hoax. Yeah? And that's what the president is pushing out. The very first thing he said, the Democrats have created another hoax called this virus. Yeah? Very first thing, he introduced it that way. And he introduced it amongst all of his people, thousands of them, in a crowd. Yeah? And that went on YouTube, and everybody and all their friends listened to it. So any time it ever came up, as far as they could see, he won't wear a mask. He says it's just going to go away. It is what he said. It's a hoax. Everybody's freaking out. Yeah? And that's what Fox News said. Everybody's freaking out. They're all overwhelmingly freaking out. Why are they freaking out? There's nothing wrong. I'm not going to wear a mask. There's nothing really wrong. Only one person has died in America. That's what they said in the early stages. And they were really pushing what he said originally. And yet he had the CIA sitting there saying this is going to be the worst disastrous outcome in the history of America. And it's not the flu. It's a horrible virus. And what it's doing in China, it's going to happen here if we don't take major steps. And he threw away everything. He fired everyone that had anything to do with it just 6 months or a year or two before. And got rid of all the supplies that was provided by that administration. Even took the book as to how to deal with a virus like this and threw it in the trash and said it never existed. They never left us anything. They left us empty. That was his reaction. So those words go out. Yeah? And that becomes the propaganda of the blue states and the red states. Yeah? And we wonder why people are violent, in the streets. Yeah? Because he created a war, separating people. Yeah? If you're not for Trump, then you're a demon. Possessed by hell. You're probably drinking blood. Yeah, that's what they say. All the Democrats are blood-drinking, demonically possessed individuals. Yeah, that's the conspiracy. And he's in office in order to destroy them, wipe them out, and get them to go away. That's his job. Yeah. But guess what? When the liar's lying, there's 100% chance it's the other way around. And what he's saying the truth, and it's known both in the CIA and by humanity itself. Yeah. Large masses of humanity know this witchcraft bullshit does go on. Who's behind it? Everybody wonders. Yeah. Turns out kind of like a conspiracy thing. Everybody wonders. Yeah. But he's taking it full on and turning it over to them. They're the ones who's doing it. They're the ones probably causing this virus, and they're the ones causing you to think like these terrible things. And you're drinking Kool-Aid, people. You're all becoming addicted to the psychic energy of Satan. And that's what he's impressing people on. Yeah? And yet, that's exactly what he's doing. Yeah? to the point of don't wear masks, go back out there, get your kids to school, don't worry about a thing, children don't die, no one suffers. Yeah? Yeah, so let's pray. At least I'm back on camera. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do right now is that I'm going to try and help everybody release their relationship with Satan. Yeah, it is, I can ask you to look around, I can ask you to see all the temples destroyed, and if those things are destroyed, so is yours. Yeah, so don't mask yourself into an illusion, thinking that you're the only one on earth who's got their temple working, functioning. You know, keeping you safe in a spiritual world, you know. Even if you believe in Jesus, even if you believe in God, even believe in Buddha, you know, no matter what you're believing in, you know, you have to take in consideration what I'm saying, yeah, because Satan exists, yeah, and this has been under the tyranny of Satan for a very long time, destroying all the temples and eradicating the soul inside of humanity by moving them to have to behave and carry out things against their brothers and sisters, just like the Civil War. The Civil War was where you kill your cousins. You fight against your own family. People you know, people you loved. Yeah? And it is so horrifying to be moved by so much evil, to carry out that. Yeah? And we don't have that in our nature. It's not part of our human nature, you know. So we have a strong influence to serve God. It's everything we are, yeah. So when we take on a prayer like this, because the reality of Christ and reincarnation exists, you know, when we take a prayer like this and I explain it to you, you know, you can have a better understanding to the fact that the Lord can cleanse your soul, can cleanse your physical body and heal the past in relationship and move you through a place to where you're standing with the Lord during the times that the Lord was on earth in the building process, when everything was in a more awakened space, not in the suffering process. You know, I am always subjected in the same dark way everybody else is during the dark cycle. Yeah. But when it comes to the awakened cycle, and the cycle in which we get to change and recapitulate, yeah, then that's when this prayer comes in handy. Yeah, because it turns things around very quickly. Yeah, and it affects the relationship of Satan on earth. It disavows your reality of Satan as a connection of any kind, even though you may even imagine that, you know, no such thing exists. You know, I do not believe in Satan, and I don't believe I have a relationship with Satan. But Hitler existed, and all the horrible things of tearing down the temples existed. And there's no way humanity could have not played a part. You know, so releasing this curse, you know, through my level of understanding, you know, and my ability to rebuild and restore everything and bring everything back to where it's meant to be in its correct way, without any control, but just by nature coming back around, you know, where we've already done it before. You know, that gives us extreme understanding in laws of science and physics and governing and, all kinds of things, just like the earth is light and speed and, the relationship of the speed of light, quantum physics, the understanding of things that got us to television and telephone and all those things are manifested because we have an awakening to the pyramid. We're awakening to the pyramid, the science that's inside the pyramid. It elevates us to the electron. It elevates us, and it makes us one with the electron. And all of a sudden, we can look and see and feel. A circuit board, a diode, a capacitor, a transistor. The making of a capacitor that then turns into a large, massive computer bank. And memory boards. That are used just for memory boards. Your mind just goes crazy as you keep going through this process. And it builds and builds because your mind is built in the same way. Our mind is like a computer. We work as a computer. We are electronically created. We are animated by the will of God. So we're getting closer and closer and closer, through the technologies that we're being given, to more and more a relationship of understanding God's reality to us, that we're far less, just animal, we are great in relationship of being an angel and the creator of the electron and the creator of the electromagnetic field, and the creator of consciousness that moves within the electron and the electromagnetic field that creates such a strong force that manifests the speed of light, where light is controlled specifically at a certain speed. And that, in its measurement, is the earth. Strange enough, but that's the way it is. Everything is microcosm, macrocosm, even light. And light, all the way down to light, is the earth. Think of matter in the smallest possible way and try and catch up to it in the speed of light. That's what the earth is. It's the manifestation of light in matter. And we have all the geometry and everything is made in that. So we have a very strong reality to computer reality and animation under God's will, not Satan's. Satan creates a different chakric organization, leaves us out of all the laws that are applied in physics and understanding and quantum reality and truth, all gone, completely wiped away because of Satan. So if I can get you to pray and take right relationship to the Lord of the world, all of that will come back. It'll come back. It'll flood you like the greatest amount of floods in the world because it's all light, pure light, and everything within it, everything manifested from it. You get that. If you take this prayer, because the only thing that blocks you from the light of God is Satan. Because it's everywhere. It's in the earth, it's in the flowers, it's in the trees, it's in the butterflies. Satan has no control over the fulfillment of God's plan. It all is still manifesting, but it's imperiled. And it's mainly imperiled through the channeling effect of human beings, making them human to inhumane. So by taking this prayer, we wake up our humanity and end our inhumanity. We close the door to Satan's incarnation on earth. And we open the door to the incarnation of Christ and the ability for us to walk amongst each other in a brotherhood and a sisterhood in relationship to the incarnation of Christ, where that has been completely taken away by Satan, given a separation, no incarnation, and no relationship to each other. None. We're all just walking around with unrequited love. So we just want to jump on each other because we're living unrequited love. Yeah, that's what it's like in Satan's world. Yeah, it's not what it's like in the world of Christ. All that energy gets prana, all that energy gets released and creates healing, all that energy goes out into humanity, and many, many people get strengthened, and diseases go away, and right decisions are made, and sciences are elevated to save humanity like miracles. Yeah, so take this prayer really, really strong. And know that it's not just a prayer in a church. Yeah, it's a real reality that you are being completely cut out to Satan. And Satan isn't coming back. And that's how you get saved. I'm telling you this, and it's hard for you to come to believe what it is I'm doing. But I'm finalizing the scenario of evil on earth. It's not a war, it's over with. Death is imminent. Yeah? And this time is short. Not for all of you. All of you are going to heaven. Yeah? But this is rapture time. And rapture time is a time when everybody awakens, everybody gets healed, and Satan goes to hell. Yeah? And anybody who's following Satan, even at the closest level, they get to come back. Yeah. They get to see their wrong ways. They can see they are not Satan. They were just following Satan. There's only one Satan. And that's where the bardo and that's where samsara comes in. Yeah. Because those are lifestyles. Those are conditions. And we have to release them and reduce them because Satan's no longer on the planet. Yeah. So it is inevitably being released. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care whether or not you're in Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, China. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a matter of reincarnation. And if we move this into the greater amount in receiving, yeah, then we also become very receptive to the reality as they leave the body. We don't hold on to that as long. It could take hundreds of years for people to release themselves, even if Satan isn't on earth, because they have all that on PTSD. Yeah, they have all that they haven't been healed from. They need to be healed. And I do the healing. Yeah, I can't send you to someone else. I can't, because they're all just people who followed the previous regime. It doesn't matter who it is. It's really important that you have a clean slate. Yeah? That your next incarnation is 100% clean as a bell. Yeah? It's really important. Yeah? So let's do this prayer. Okay, repeat after me. Lord Jesus the Christ, thank you for bringing me here. Lord Jesus Christ, I open my heart today. I invite you to come inside. Come, Jesus Christ, and save my life. Receive me today as a child of God. Forgive all my sins and write my name in the book of life. I give myself to you. Gotta find this one. That's the wrong one. Ooh, there it is. Okay. I give myself to you. My spirit, my soul, my body. Receive me, Jesus the Christ. Now, the devil, the blood of Jesus the Christ, is against you. I command you now to leave me. I do not belong to you. I am God's property. Leave my life. I disassociate myself from you. I renounce every evil covenant I have entered with you. In the name of Jesus the Christ, I have received salvation. I am a child of God. Amen. All right. Looking for my puja. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to do Om every 10 seconds until the end of the puja. And I'll start it and we'll all just do it together. life. I therefore know my mother. I use a body. That body is not me. I serve the group, and in this serving live within the body, detached, a son of God. I know myself. I infuse a body. I am its life, and in that life shall I see life. That life is known as love. I am the love of God. I know the Father, and I know His life is love. I am the body and its loving life. I am the self whose quality is love. I am the life of God Himself. The Mother, Father, Son am I. Behind these three stands the unknown God. That God am I. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of mankind. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of mankind. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men and women, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, we call the race of mankind. Let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. 7, the colors of the manifesting one. 7-fold, the work. 7, the energies. And 7-fold, the path back to the center of peace. Let the disciple live in love, and love in life. The soul is the Son of God, a product of the union of spirit and matter. The soul is an embodiment of consciousness of mind, the expression of divine intelligent awareness. Is a unity of energy, vibrating in unison with one of the 7 ray lines, and colored by a particular ray of light. The personality of the soul serve to express that loving intelligence. The soul is intended to be the embodiment of divine purpose, applied in great active creativity, which produces the power of creative love. We are born of the love of the Father for the Mother, of the desire of life for form. Express the love, the magnetic attractiveness of God's nature, and the responsiveness of form nature. The I am consciousness itself of the awareness of deity in life. Okay, just keep meditating. Keep your eyes closed for a little bit. Where I come from, we use invocation, evocation. And part of that, we use bells and bowls and drums in our voice. You controlling certain octaves and ways in which it changes those octaves. And that reverberates qualities inside of elements. And it's a communication between the Devic kingdom, which is an elemental kingdom, but it's located in everything. All the plants and the animals and everything have a Devic alignment to Mahadeva, the creator of Earth. Yeah. So all of them are emanations of the creator of Earth through Mahadeva. So everything I do is ceremony to Mahadeva. Yeah. And I'm Mahadeva. So when I do ceremony, it's in order to create an invocation of recapitulation so it sparks back into everything, its origin, and allowing it to feel free to be what it is, to experience what it is in life that's going on. So that all the elemental forces that are limiting those things, which we call demons, those things are released from bondage to your relationship in life. You know, and it gives them a place to exist in the elemental kingdom. And it creates all kinds of hell in the elemental kingdom, which can mean weather, it could mean disaster, it could mean accidents, it could mean disease. You know, all of that is elemental disorder. Yeah. So I'm going to play a drum, and that's part of this invocation process. So just relax. Okay, you can open your eyes. Yeah, just relax, enjoy. Nice drum. All right, so that's going to be the end of this meditation. Enjoy, please.